Right, everybody, welcome to my new LP, G Police or Government Police for the PlayStation 1. One of my favourite games growing up. Fantastic story, good shooter. I notice there's not much of it on YouTube, which is a bit of a shame. One of the first games that I can think of that's Dolby Surround, which is really cool. The Will, man, so many childhood memories. Right, I'm going to let this play.
2057.
Because it's quite story based. So
Earth's resources are completely depleted.
it's
A
a
race
bit
to
of a
claim
long
every
one.
ore-bearing rock in the solar system begins. (2079). Tension grows as opposing nations compete for ever-declining resources and expand their military capabilities in space. 2085. Eurofed Deep Space Survey ship Argo is impounded by SDR-AF coalition forces. 3 ships are destroyed in the ensuing police action. Negotiations fail and war breaks out. 2086. The war escalates and military resources on all sides are rapidly depleted. 2087. The final fleet action takes place at Nereus Harbor, orbiting Neptune. Within days, the battle is finished. Damaged and badly irradiated, the flagship Damocles is the only cruiser to survive the conflict. The war is over. Powerful multinational corporations unite to take control and restore order to the tatters of society. With little remaining military or financial resources, Earth's governments are stripped of their powers and are forced to demilitarize. The construction of capital-class armed spacecraft is outlawed. 2089. The corporations continue the exploitation of space, making vast profits to further strengthen their position. Earth's coalition government is allowed to create a multinational force to keep order in the colonies. The government police are born.
I never intended to join the G Police. A lot of vets did after the collapse, but I'd seen enough killing. And killing's what it's all about. When they first hit the colonies, the G Police operated like any other Earth-based force. They got slaughtered by the truckload, and it was clear that the frontiers required more forceful policing. Close air support was introduced in the shape of the AG-60 Havoc. I'd flown these babies on Mars during the war, and they were past their prime even then. Lack of funding from Earth means that these ships are still in frontline service. Second-hand machines flown by second-hand crews. Which doesn't make the job any easier. G Police are supposed to represent government authority in the colonies, but I knew the score. Most smart cops did now. keep the population under control, and try and turn a blind eye to any shady corporation deals. G-Police are all volunteers, usually vets with time on their hands. There's a few high-minded idealists who think they can make a difference, but the majority are just running from problems back on Earth. The G-Police ask no questions. If you're willing and you're up to it, you're in. Elaine Slater was one of the idealists. She was on her 4th tour as a Havoc pilot on Callisto, and now she's dead. Another good cop among many. They don't keep count anymore, but Elaine Slater was different. She was my sister. The inquiry gave a verdict of suicide linked to stress and depression. I didn't buy that. Elaine had won commendations for closing a couple of big cases, and she'd even hinted at a new romance. Depression just didn't fit the picture. If I didn't believe the suicide verdict, that left only one option. Someone murdered her and went to the trouble of covering it up. I had to know the truth. With a couple of street contacts and most of my savings, I bought a new identity and signed up as a Havoc pilot in the colonies. My military record got me a posting to the main hotspot, Callisto, to Elaine's old unit. I knew I'd have to watch my back out there. If anyone found out I was Elaine's brother, I was as good as dead.
Welcome to Callisto, Mr. Taylor. I'm Commander Horton, and I run this operation. I don't know who you were trying to fool with that false name, Bull Slater, but it's not gonna work on me.
I'd met some of the pilots already. They seemed pleasant enough. Horton was another story. A horror story. He talked tough and looked tougher. That hunk of tin hanging around his brain hadn't slowed him down, though. He'd spotted my phony ID and was not impressed. Arriving on the same flight as the internal affairs investigator hadn't earned me any brownie points either. It was plain that my new commander didn't trust me. Yeah, that was okay. I wasn't too sure about him either. As I listened to Horton, I noticed the medals he wore. A vet from the Naris action. No wonder he looked half dead. Well, then it clicked. He was the Horton, the last great fleet captain. What the hell was he doing in this backwater?
I don't trust you, Slater, and I'm gonna be watching you like a hawk. Your first briefing is tomorrow at 0500 hours in the main briefing room. In the meantime, I suggest you take a look at your unit's database and familiarize yourself with it. That's all for now, Slater. Dismissed.
Right, so there you go. There's the intro, and what a intro indeed. Man, that blew my feckin' little brain out when I was a kid. So yeah, this is G-Police. We're looking for our sister. We're Slater. And yeah, it's a pretty interesting game. It's for the type of game it is. It's got quite a deep story. It's like an arcadey kind of flight simulator type thingy going on. A bit like Colony Wars, if you remember that. If you don't remember Colony Wars, I feel sorry for you. You've obviously never played it. That was an amazing game. Right, I'm actually getting some frame rate issues here, so I'm going to stop the recording. But then hopefully this will be a first thing. There's lots of video in this, lots of story. But yeah, so hopefully you'll enjoy it as much as I do. I love this game. One of my favourites. Right, more on that in a minute.
You are now ready to engage moving air targets. Now follow your waypoints and destroy any targets.
Right, okay, I think I've kind of solved the problem, hopefully. Anyway, as I was saying, this is a very hard game. Very hard. It's massive as well. It does span 2 discs, which again for the time was pretty crazy. Anyway, without further ado, I should warn people there's probably going to be a lot of swearing, a lot of save state abuse in this, because there are some very, very unforgiving bits. Anyway, moving on.
Okay, people, listen up. We all know that gang warfare has escalated rapidly in the past few months. We've been hit pretty hard by it. A lot of the weapons being used by the gangs are restricted military issue. We need to find out where this state-of-the-art firepower is coming from and neutralize the source. Recent information points to Krakow employees being involved in this weapons smuggling. The evidence is slight, however, and there is no clear motive for the corporation as a whole. I have expressed our concerns to their president, Natalie Argenta, who was naturally denied any involvement. Argenta is coming over on the next shuttle, which arrives in 4 days. I can't give an official directive here, but off the record, keep a close eye on Krakow activities. I think they're hiding something. As you're probably aware, Internal Affairs are now investigating us, so no foul-ups, no heroics, and definitely no friendly fire incidents. Understood? Keep your eyes open out there, do your job, and get back in one piece. We can't afford to keep losing pilots or gunships at this rate. Mission briefings are at 0500 hours tomorrow. Good luck, people. Dismissed.
Alright, so that's the first mission.
One of the major Callisto corporations is suspected of smuggling arms into the colony. Unfortunately, we are yet to determine which corporation is to blame. We have received certain details from an informant, suggesting that the latest shipment will be arriving on the next inbound transport. The inventory lists 10 cargo containers, which are to be loaded onto tractors and delivered to the appropriate shipping addresses. Orders are to scan the incoming transports while attempting to identify the smugglers. Once the convoy leaves the spaceport, you must perform a weapons scan on all containers. If suspicious goods are present, continue to monitor the container until an arrest team arrives. In the event of a problem, do not open fire unless directly fired upon.
Right, okay.
Good luck.
So that's what we've got to do. Sorry about the sound glitching. I will try and sort that out. I wasn't aware of that. Right, okay. So as you can probably, you're probably aware, the G Police seem to be in a bit of a bad way. We have second-hand shitty ships, pilots being killed left, right, and centre. Not very good at all. Right, you get some pretty hellish weapons in this game. Which is one of the reasons I really loved it as a kid. You got your standard minigun there, overheats but infinite ammo. That's there if you want to read it. This weapon is a standard fixed emplacement for the Havoc Scum Barbarette. Firing 30mm shells at a very high rate, the gun is aimed by placing the crosshairs in the HUD on the target and firing. This weapon overheats with continued use. That's heavily used, that weapon. Missile IR. This missile works by following the current locked target from the HUD system. The missile will follow the target until it loses a lock or exceeds its maximum range. The missile is fired dumb if no target is locked. Pretty handy weapon, one of the, basically your first big boy basically. If shit hits the fan you switch to those. And you got your Manta rockets, you have 20 of those. Manta is a medium range unguided rocket. Each ammo pack will fire 3 warheads. The standard payload is usually quite high as the warhead is light. These aren't much cop really, but they do have their use, I suppose. Right. Now I really hope this game's going to play ball. I hope so. Lots of loading in it, but as you can see, it's a very story-based, early game. But yeah, really good.
Control to Alpha 1.
This is
Cargo
us.
containers located at Spaceport Holding Area. Proceed to Spaceport Dome. Over.
Okay, boss.
Control to Alpha Wing. Follow the waypoints to the spaceport.
Yeah, we're getting some weird lag again. Although this is playable at the moment. I'm not sure why. I might have to look into it. Right. Basically, and I'm saying basically again, you have a map. Each of these domes is kind of like a room. Say a room. And you have lanes that connect all the rooms together. Map's pretty self-explanatory.
Control to Alpha Wing. You have one unidentified craft in your vicinity. Over.
Okay. There she is. Right,
Destroy that
combat
fighter
time.
before you proceed.
Let's give him a dose of the old minigun. He's no match. If you lock on, you get a little display up in the left top corner. And that will tell you their life. Also, once you're locked onto an enemy, you can let fly with your weapons and heat-seeking weapons, and they will always be on the map like a permanent proper indicator. Right, got some pretty big shit flying around here. I always used to like that. You can scan pretty much anything. Quite a very detailed world for the time. Not much to look at now. But
scan the containers for illegal arms.
Yes, boss. We shall scan. Illegal.
Control to Alpha Wing. Well done. Illegal arms found. Arrest team on the way.
What a shame. I had high hopes for these boys too.
Reporting. We're on our way. Over.
What a shame. 2 illegal crates. Now anyway, we have some guys arriving. There they are.
Ground team Epsilon reporting. We are in position. Over.
You can scan your own men, see how much health they got and whatnot.
Control to Alpha Wing. There are 4 suspects in Devor Dome. Track
Okie
them
dokie.
down and scan them. Over.
Red arrow on the radar indicates where you need to go. A lot of this game will involve escorting and protecting allies and things like that, and they are extremely unforgiving.
Control
Right.
to Alpha Wing.
What do
You
we
have
got?
more hostiles incoming. Over.
Good, good, good. Let them come. Where are they? Let's have a quick look on the map. Boom. They're civilians though. Okay, if you say so. Let's waste these fools. Now, I always used to like the aircraft you get in this as well. I think the design of the units and everything's really cool. Don't know why we're shooting through him. There we go. He's had enough. Next. He's unknown. Why are you unknown? Controls take some getting used to, but they work fairly well. As you can see, these things drop like flies. Nothing really to worry about. Thanks, boss. Moving on.
Control to Alpha 1. Vehicles must be scanned and identified before they are lost. Over.
Okay, we got anything in here?
Commence scan.
He's sound, he's just a civilian.
Innocent. Do not destroy.
Alright, we got an asshole on our ass now. Now your health does regenerate relatively. It's so-so. It's not the fastest health regen in the world, but it's okay.
Commence scan.
Come on. Civilian.
Innocent.
These
Do not
are
destroy.
like repair bays. If you fly into those, you can use
2 down, 2 to go.
you can use each one once in the said mission.
Commence scan.
Will restore your health by 50 points and
Innocent.
give
Do not
you
destroy.
not all your weapons back, but quite a lot. Bollocks.
3 down, 1 to go. It's
Come
gotta
on,
be
you
the next
bastard. There still is a little bit of that lag. Come on. Eat it. It's a really, really fun game. Highly recommended. One of my, like I said,
Good work, Slayer.
one of my favourites when I was young. There's no point wasting anything good. One recommendation, if you do decide to play this game,
Nice job.
do not waste your weapons.
Commence scan.
Don't think, oh, I've got 10 fucking
Control to Alpha 1. We have a
missiles.
positive
I'm
weapons
gonna,
check. Alpha
the first
1.
10
You are
enemies I
clear to
see are gonna eat
engage.
missiles.
Over.
Because you'll shoot yourself in the foot. There we go, done and done. Right, this is where it gets hairy. Let's boot it back to the
Control
men.
to Alpha Wing. Mission complete. Over.
Alrighty. Thunder it back.
Control to Alpha Wing. Ground Team Epsilon have been eliminated. Over.
Ah. Okay, I don't know how they got destroyed and we passed that, but I'm not going to argue. See what I mean? When your men come under attack, bang, that is it. You've got to go straight away. But, there we go. That's the first level done anyway. Password, bah. Enemy kill 7, hit ratio 51%, that's pretty good for me. As the game goes on, you get bigger, badass weapons. A nice little surprise kind of 2/3 of the way through the game. I won't ruin anything now. I've only actually completed this game probably once, because it's so, and that was with cheats when I was a kid, because it was so hard. Right.
It is confirmed that the container was carrying sufficient illegal arms to supply a small army. Krakow Corporation denies involvement.
Of course.
However, it is clear that we should be aware of the possibility of corrupt elements operating within Callisto's infrastructure.
Okay. I'm really sorry about that sound. It's annoying. I'll have a fiddle. I'm gonna do the next level, and then I'm gonna have a fiddle and see if I can get it saved. Right.